This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash your like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. All right, so Sheek Louch makes an official response to J Hood. And basically on here, he's just saying he doesn't really like J Hood. And he just, he says, I can't say I hate him. Can't say I like him. I just don't like him. He says it's been so many years and you're still talking about what happened 20 years ago. Or less than 20 years ago, really. And he's like, why don't you move on? Why don't you be successful? Why don't you do this? And I really, I love the Locks, man. I loved working with them. But, some things just, they weren't the best at doing business with artists. But they're an amazing rap group. They're an amazing rap group. You can't help but not like Sheek, Styles, and Jadakiss, And it was a pleasure when I was working with them. But they weren't the best at handling artists, They were able to get J Hood hot. But they were figuring out a lot of their own business with D-Block. Sheek Louch was in between deals. He didn't like Universal and wanted to leave. The problem is he had J Hood with him at Universal. And when they moved from Universal to Koch, they made J Hood leave Universal as well. So now he's an indie. And now they got the blessing of starting out on Bad Boy, a major label that had all the power in the game. Biggie was there. Everybody was Faith, 112. They had a lot of bargaining chips to go with MTV and everything. Like, hey, play this and we'll give you this. Or we'll radio. Well, you want that new Big record? Play this Locks record. You want that new, remix record we just did with this such and such? You need to play this Locks record. And even though they were undeniably hot, as rapping, those relationships are needed to be had. And I don't think I'm pretty I know Sheek was doing it in the beginning where they were bargaining with DJs and everything, but that only goes so far because when Jadakiss is at Def Jam, they're not going to play that game. They have no upside to bargaining a Jadakiss video with a J Hood. Hey, you want that? Play this J Hood and you'll get this Jadakiss. It doesn't work for them. And that's what was going to work at Universal. Sheek could have had another album and, they'd be like, all right, do Sheek, J Hood, and Jadakiss. And they would have been able to push it because Universal has a lot of artists over there. They have a lot of releases. They could have, hypothetically, even though Plows wasn't on Universal, right? They could be like, play this Plows record and do this or this. Whoever was hot at the time. Plows wasn't hot then. Nelly. Was Nelly on Universal? I can't remember. But anyways, you want this new Nelly record? Play this J Hood for us with Sheek. When you're on Koch, there's not much to be bargained with. Jim Jones is going to want you to be bargaining with him, his stuff, because it's indie. You're now indie with a distribution label, even though Koch kind of operates slightly major because they have their own departments for radio and everything. It just didn't work the same. And J Hood lost a lot of steam when he went over to Koch. And then money supposedly was played with. It kind of was. Money was, it was weird. There was a lot of pushbacks. Sheek dropped another album and another album. And it just, imagine being an artist over at D-Block for 4 or 5 years, waiting for your turn, just getting by, and you're losing steam now. You can feel yourself losing. The streets are kind of not even hungry for you anymore because if you keep telling people, 6 more months, my album's coming out, 3 more months, my album's coming out, you lose the steam. So what I'm saying is the guys kind of didn't pull, the guys were so in between on their own careers, solo careers I'm talking about, not the Locks. The Locks didn't even drop an album from 2001 to in 10 years after that. Don't forget that. Remember, the locks didn't even drop again for like 10, 15 years. I think they dropped another album like 2014. They always kept it hot in the mixtapes. But the mixtapes don't pay, unless you're doing a deal with Big Mike or something. It was just a bad situation. So, you get a couple sideways things that happen. J-Hood went rogue, and I was hoping that after, he told the story throughout the years, after he calmed down, told the story, maybe they could see it differently, but they didn't, obviously, because we saw it happen. Finally, when Styles P was forced to address it, he was very aggressive, and, now Sheek doesn't want anything to do with J-Hood. He wouldn't even take money for a reunion show, nothing. And, the question was posed, have you guys never come out with a big artist ever? And he's like, I don't know. I think it's because artists want everything in the beginning. They want what you have in the beginning, which kind of isn't true, because I saw J-Hood just happy to be around for years. And then, after a while, like, look, how long did Joel Santana have to wait? 2 years? 2 years, and he started making money. Cameron put Joel's. Don't forget how Cameron did it. Cameron put Joel's on his first single on Rockefeller. The first single. He was on it. That's a power move, because now Joel's is hot, and then they bargained him a deal at Def Jam, and he was on. Def Jam took over. Major deal. You don't want to be on an indie deal. An indie deal didn't work so great for J.R. Writer. It worked okay, but it didn't work so great for J.R. Writer, Hellrail, or anybody else. You got some money, but you didn't get a lot of money. And these guys were brokering their own deals. All Cameron wanted was money for the bird, for the logo. They were handling their own deal, so they were getting a bulk of like 30 grand, 40 grand at one time, Then they do features. And Dipset was different. It was just structured differently, I was hoping that they could all come together, because it was like so much was done wrong on all sides, on J-Hood's side, on Sheek's side, on Styles' side. Jadakiss kind of always stayed out of that kind of stuff, but a lot was done wrong. He wasn't let go, like peacefully, and I think that's what really caused things to go left. When he asked to be let go, they didn't let him go. They didn't sign papers to let him go. That was sad. And that probably hurts, because you're looking at these people. They did treat him like family. And he looked at them as family. So, I don't know. It's a sad situation. I don't think it'll ever get resolved. It is what it is. It just is what it is. It'll never get resolved at this point. It's been 14, 15, almost 17 years now. It's over. It's over. But that's what it is, man. I appreciate you guys. I still like the locks and everything. It's sad that I think they should stop trying to be label reps. And then, I love how Styles is doing his pharmacy for life. He's got his juice bars. I think he's doing a lot of good with that. Jadakiss has his own stuff going on. Sheek has stuff going on too. It's probably better to not be in the music unless it's their personal music. It's a lot of responsibility to have artists. It really is. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Peace.